So Rick, more kids in need than we expected, more controversy around it. How should we be responding?
We obviously need to do the sort of investigations that are being called for. Not because I actually think that things are as bad as we may be suggesting, but given that we have 26,000 children plus in the care of Children's Aid and another 175,000 in association with Children's Aid, that's an awful lot of youth at some measure of risk in our society. We have to move beyond that and ask, how do we get, as a province, to have 200,000, in quotes, at-risk children? That requires some careful study and some careful review, because that really speaks to a much bigger issue than what happened to 90 particular children.
This is the community you've created to be watching, caring, helping, assisting at-risk people. Why do they get that way? Help us understand that 200,000 number.
Well, obviously I can't speak for anyone beyond who we have historically seen. We see children who are the victims of highly dysfunctional families, children for whom home is unsafe. We also see the children of neglectful families, sometimes very affluent, very well-heeled people who just have no time for their children. We see children who have been simply miscommunicated to. Good, loving, caring parents who maybe even with the best of intentions have spoke the wrong word to their child at the wrong time, and then we end up seeing that child on the street or in a program. We see kids from a society that doesn't actually make children a priority and forces parents to make decisions between career and family, and calls people to achieve success at the cost of any sort of quality family life.
So Rick, we've had guests refer to this as the canary in the coal mine. As the children go, so goes our culture. Can you explain what you think is fueling that poisonous gas?
I'm a 60s kid, and we grew up angry at adults, not trusting people over 30, but mostly we had the sense that we actually didn't ask to be brought into this world, and that those who made the choices to bring us into this world had some responsibility to watch over our well-being, and that it became incomprehensible to us that someone would choose to bring us into existence and then would neglect us, or then would send us off to war, or do so many other things that were hard for us to understand. When a society makes a commitment to bring children into being, then it makes a commitment to raise those children well. And failure to raise children well really becomes a neglect of social responsibility.
Okay, speak to me as a parent. Overwhelmed, under-resourced. What advice do you have for that kind of situation?
You know, I'm not sure that I have any advice, because I'm the same overwhelmed, under-resourced parent in my life, spending too many hours at work and not enough hours at home, and trying to juggle all the different pieces of my life, and not having always done it well, and yet we have this primary responsibility to home, not a primary responsibility to work, not a primary responsibility to the size of our house, not a primary responsibility to the expense of our vacation, but a primary responsibility to home, to family. And I think that begins with actually being there. We can't parent if we are never there. And I speak that because I can go back through my life and identify all the times when I wasn't there enough.
And I would identify that my own mental health improves when I cut back on work and invest more in the kids.
Exactly. And because that's where health is. Our children have the potential to bring us wholeness. And we, I think, see them as a responsibility rather than perhaps seeing them as a life-giving force in our life.